Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to be talking about hormones, or more specifically those released by endocrine glands. Now, endocrine glands are glands that secrete hormones directly into the bloodstream, and they form what's called the endocrine system. So let's think about first of all the definition of hormone. So hormones like dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, these are chemical substances produced by a gland and carried by the blood. And what they do is alter the activity of one or more specific target organs. Now that last bit is really crucial, especially when you're answering examination questions. So hormones act on specific target organs. So what I want to do in this video is very quickly just run around this diagram, essentially naming the main glands that make up the endocrine system, give a little bit of detail about what they release and what they're involved in the body. So let's start at the top. So we have the brain image in the middle. We can see an area that's highlighted blue and red. Now the area that's highlighted blue is known as the hypothalamus. Now, the hypothalamus is the brain region that controls what's called the pituitary gland. I do have, in many of my other videos, I've referred to roles of the hypothalamus specifically in, for example, temperature control and thermoregulation. But in this, we're just going to give a brief overview. So it controls the pituitary gland, and the pituitary gland is that is coloured in red on this diagram. So this is the pituitary gland. Now, the pituitary gland secretes many different hormones, some of which go on to affect other glands. So examples include, and I'll put some here. So from the pituitary, we have FSH, follicle stimulating hormone involved in the menstrual cycle, LH, luteinizing hormone. We have ADH, antidiuretic hormone involved in osmoregulation, controlling water level in the kidney, but also ones like oxytocin, which are involved in the suckling reflex, the production ultimately of breast milk during pregnancy. So there we've got the pituitary gland, and if we work our way in a clockwise fashion, let's talk about this particular gland here. Now this is the thyroid gland, and it's on both sides, so we'll label it both sides. So this is the thyroid gland, and the role of the thyroid is ultimately controlling metabolism, amongst other things, but mainly the metabolism. And it's due to a hormone that is produced known as thyroxine. So thyroxine ultimately is involved in the control of metabolism. Now what you can't see behind the thyroid, so positioned just behind this region that we're circling, are, and I'll just refer to it here, are what are called the parathyroids. The parathyroid glands, so we'll just put that one in also here. So we have the parathyroid glands, and these parathyroid glands are involved in the regulation at the level of calcium. So these are the parathyroids next to the thyroid. Now beneath there, if we just focus on this square that I'm just drawing on this diagram, we have another gland that often gets confused with the thyroid. It begins with T, but interestingly, when we think about immunity and T cells and B cells, or specifically T and B lymphocytes, the T stands for thymus, this particular gland, because that's where these T lymphocytes mature. So this gland just above the sternum is known as the thymus gland. So this one, we'll label this here. So that is the thymus. And the thymus, as I said, is involved in the production and development of lymphocytes that ultimately help fight infection. So let's work our way in the centre. In the centre of this image, what we've got are two particular labels, and the two labels relates to, if we take the one at the top, this is the adrenal glands. You can see small glands that sit atop of the kidneys. Now, the adrenal glands ultimately involved in triggering the fight or flight response. So they release, as you might be able to guess, the hormone adrenaline. So let's put adrenaline in there. Now beneath you can see we have another label to what's described as a sort of leaf-shaped organ. This one is the pancreas. Now the pancreas, part of the endocrine system, is involved in regulating the level of sugar in the blood. And two key hormones are released from the pancreas. One of them is insulin, and that's involved in lowering blood glucose. But the other is one called glucagon. And glucagon acts to raise blood sugar levels by converting stored glycogen in the liver back to glucose. But again, in another video, I talk a little bit more detail about that particular hormone there. So we've got the adrenals and the pancreas, and that leaves just two glands to label on this diagram. So to the right, we have the ovary. Now the ovary secretes female sex hormones, including estrogen, but also one known as progesterone. And these help to trigger puberty or the secondary sexual characteristics. We've got development of the sexual organs, but also they're involved in egg development. And as you might be able to guess, over on the right-hand side we have, or left-hand side, apologies, we have the testes. And the testes are involved in the secretion of testosterone. And once again, testosterone triggers puberty in the male, or the secondary sexual characteristics. We get development again of the sexual organs, but this time we get sperm production. So we've had egg development for the ovary and sperm production in the testicles. So there we have just a very quick overview of the endocrine system, the glands that are involved, and these are the glands that secrete hormones directly into the bloodstream. Okay, I hope that helps.